Wizard,
Yep.
this isn't a Rolls Royce.
Oh, it's not a Rolls Royce?
No.
No, it is not a Rolls Royce. It is the Ferrari 308 you guys have been keeping up with. We've got some more updates, and Magic Mike has really been working hard. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got going on. So Magic Mike has most of the engine bay done. He's waiting on me to do the carburetors, and I've been slacking. That's my end because I have so many other things going on. Every time I start to tune the carburetor or make an adjustment, I get pulled off because a customer's in the office. Someone has a problem, they can't get something figured out, and it's just the way it is. I'm not complaining, just letting you know what's going on. We're going to take a look at the power windows today and what's going to take to get those rolling again. And we have some things installed in the interior. It's starting to look really sweet. Let's go ahead and take a look in the interior. So Magic Mike has got quite a bit of the interior panels and pieces put in, and he's been making some good headway. Let's take a look at the dash here. As you remember, the original dash was a chocolate brown color, and it was not very pretty. I had Low End Upholstery recover it in black, and it turned out very, very nice. I'm very happy with it. We've got the dash pad bolted in, everything installed. If you remember, it also on this car, it had this weird custom-made center console with all kinds of crazy buttons and switches and wiring to make you pull your hair out. I sorted through most of the wiring and got that taken care of, and these pieces I had to buy separately on eBay actually. They're just preliminary installed. They're not permanently installed. We're kind of test fitting because I don't have the original components. I don't know exactly how they all went in, but we do have a very good idea how it all went. One question that I have for you guys out there that have these cars or are knowledgeable with these cars as well, we have made a cutout for the stereo where the radio goes, but I don't see anything fitting in there because of the factory wiring harnesses right behind there. What I thought that I could do is install one of the MP3 or Bluetooth stereos. They're like this deep. They're not very big at all. And that would fit there. And that's probably what I'll do. That is a solution. But I'm just curious to you guys out there, how did they install the factory stereo? Take a look. There would be no room. It's got the main harness right there in the way. I would have to relocate a lot of things to put a radio in here. It's very interesting. Maybe their main harness was modified and changed by the previous owner when they did their customizations. I'm not sure. But it's very, very strange how that ended up. Take a look up, Mrs. Wizard. Look at the headliner.
It looks so much better.
I don't have the visors on yet. We need to put on the little buttons that hold the visors, but it's like a tweed burlap style, which is original style. It's not original fabric, but it is originally styled fabric, and it looks really good. I also need to do the dome light up there, but that's about it. You can see that Magic Mike has got these rear pillars and the rear shelf upholstery put in, and that's going to give you guys an idea of what the rest of the upholstery is going to look like. It looks so much better than it did. Almost like new, and I'm really happy with it. So, will it be OEM factory? No, but it'll look pretty close. My goal is to make it look presentable, not OEM factory. I have yet to install the cluster. I want to make sure all the wiring and everything else is done and ready to go. Then we'll put the cluster in and try out the gauges. I did notice on the steering column that it looks like there's something supposed to be here. And through our ripping out the interior, we found this laying underneath the carpet. So I'm going to try to re-adhere that. It'll snap in there. It will go in there. I just need to re-adhere it, maybe put black epoxy over it, and it'll still work. If it doesn't work, I'll have to buy this whole switch assembly, which is super expensive, but that's the way it is. It's too bad that it's been broken before.
What did that control?
I think it's the turn signals. Yep.
Kind of necessary.
Yep. And our steering wheel's been refinished. It used to be a brown as well. Now it's a nice black material. Looks nice and new.
Yes, it looks like it'll fit my hands perfectly.
It's a Momo. See Momo?
Lovely.
Being that this interior was heavily modified, one of the things I've noticed that is missing that I don't have with the car is the air conditioning vent. You can see right here. The ductwork is present, but whatever goes right here with the two vents is missing. If anyone out there has those for sale, let me know in the comments section. I would be very interested in purchasing them. I'm going to start shopping for the air conditioning parts. I probably would like to have air conditioning in here. All I need is the compressor, a good used one. I have all the lines, the condenser and the evaporator core are all in place. The expansion valve is there. I just need to flush them out. And I need that vent shroud or whatever you want to call it that goes right there. If anyone of you guys knows where one is, I'd be appreciative of that. But we're going to continue on with the interior. We've got a lot to do. Now we're going to move to the power windows. Freddie mentioned when he was driving this car that if he put fuses in the fuse panel for the power windows and tried to use them, it would immediately blow the fuses. I mean, instantly blow the fuses. So we're going to get our power probe out and hook that up, and we're going to see, are these motors even any good? Let's go ahead and open the front hatch. So under here is our battery. And I have my handy dandy power probe hooked to the positive and negative terminal. You guys have seen this before in videos. I use this a lot in the shop. This is listed on our Amazon affiliates link in the description below. I can give anything I want power or ground, or I can test for power or ground. You can discover very quickly what's going on with your electrical system. This cuts diagnostic time in half or more, maybe even by 80% sometimes. Car Wizard, that's $200 or $300 for one of those. After you've used this about 5 times, it's already paid for itself, and trust me, you will agree.
Wizard, seats would be nice in here.
Yes, seats would be nice. I'm searching. I'm looking on eBay in different places for a set of 308 or 328 seats that are in decent shape. So the power windows, like I said, are blowing fuses left and right. Magic Mike has unhooked the motor for us. It's made by Spal, Coraggio, however you say it. Rotazione. I'm not Italian, if you can tell. These really don't have window regulators like you would think. This has window tracks and a cable system. You can see the cable that's attached here. There's just a bunch of cables and pulleys, pretty much all that operates the window. And I understand from people that I've talked to that even when they're in perfect operating shape, they're kind of jankety as they are. So let's see, by putting power directly to this motor, is it truly any good? It worked, guys. Let me reverse the direction. It worked. All right. I don't have to buy motors. Let me turn off this sound so it's not annoying to you. I'm touching it now. It shows that there's a circuit. I'm going to force it to have power now. It works. That's amazing. I'll come over there and we'll try the other side. We'll just put power to see if the window goes up and down. So I now know that the motor itself is good. It's either that the cable was binding so hard that it was overloading the motor, or there's a wiring issue going on. And as you can see, this is a present that Tavares left for me. All the door wiring taped up because he removed the doors during car trek. And I don't have a problem with that. I understand why they did it. I'm just going to have to go through that and see, is there a wiring issue here? Is it in the switch? Or is there something going on that I don't know about yet? But at least I know on the passenger side, the motor and the gearbox are operational. They do work. Let's test the driver's side. The wires have already been disconnected by Freddie or Tavares, and they're hanging there. That goes straight to the motor. Let's go ahead and put power and see, does it try to move? Does it try to do anything at all? It's right here at the speaker hole. Let's take a look. Ground there. It shows a good circuit. The window works. It gets very hot. I can feel the terminals getting hot. Wow. Very good. All right, that's all I need to know right there. The motor is good, the gearbox is good. It's very likely needs the slides lubed. The cable guides and the cables and things all need to be lubed. I bet it will work fine. It's pulling so much power right now that, like I said, the terminals got hot. That tells me that that would blow a fuse. Because it's so stiff and hard to move, it's having trouble doing anything. So now we all know the motors are good. That is really good. I didn't want to buy motors. So that's where we are on the Ferrari. We've made great progress. From what it was when it first came in the shop to what it is now, it is way, way better. Great improvement. And we're getting there, guys. There's many other projects going on. As you see in the background, we have the Malibu Jaguar swap. I've installed exhaust flanges on each exhaust port that have a little bit of pipe sticking out so I can start making my own headers, and that's as far as I got on that. So on the 38 olds that's above it, I've just got so many things going on. It is a cool car, but it needs to go to someone who can spend focused 100% time on it. I'm going to put the original dash setup back on it. It's a running and driving car. Someone could really take it from there. I'll probably be selling it to someone who'd be interested in buying it. Here very soon, we'll let you guys know when it's for sale and the price and everything, and you'll contact Crazy D and all that stuff. But I'll probably be selling the 38 olds.
Wizard?
Yep.
Are you trying to hide a motorcycle behind a Chevelle?
I was hoping that it was the same color, you wouldn't see it.
Really? That's kind of a hard one to hide.
Yes, I did buy an old Harley, a shovel head, guys. We'll do a video on that if you'd like to see a video on it. Let us know in the comments if you want to check out the 1980 Harley Tour Glide. It is in really good shape. We're fixing a small few things on it, but I've driven it a few times and it rides nice. I actually used to have a 79 shovel head and I sold it, and I kick myself every time I think about it. It's like, why did you do that? It was such a sweet bike. And this one came up for sale, and you can hear the rest of the story if we do a video on it if you guys want to hear it. Let's move on down to the old Nova that's been sitting there. This is the old Nova that you guys have seen in a previous video. The customer dropped off with basically an open checkbook and said, I want my wife's teenage car, she had when she was a teenager, up and running again. We have the engine and transmission out. As you can see, we have gutted this poor car as far as powertrain is concerned. The engine is currently in Wichita at Martin Machine going through a rebuild process because we do not rebuild engines here. We do not have the tooling. We are minor to moderate repairs. We do not rebuild engines or differentials or transmissions here. There's a reason why those shops exist, because shops like me do not do that in-house. The transmission is also out. The owner knows a guy that's going to rebuild that. He'll be picking up the transmission here pretty soon and taking it to get it rebuilt. When we did have it running and driving before this, the engine smoked really heavily and it had a misfire, which tells me that probably the cam lobes are worn down to circles and the valve seals are bad, really bad. That is very common on these old 305s. The cam lobes get worn down. It was soft metal or something that they did. And the engine had a lot of age on it. So it's being rebuilt. The transmission will be rebuilt. And in the meantime, we're going to wash and clean the whole engine bay out, the underneath, and start going through it. We've gone through some of the brakes already. We have a lot to go. But there has been progress on the old Nova. As soon as we get the engine and transmission back and back in, we'll do a video on it and do an update on everything that we've done on this. So as you can see, the shop is really busy with projects. As far as long-term projects like this Nova or that Jeep or the Countach that's down there, really that's not a long-term project as far as the amount of work to do, but it is waiting on parts. We also have a couple other larger projects going on in the shop. So as far as projects like this, we are booked for the rest of the year. We still keep getting calls from people that have these types of projects that would like us to work on them, and we tell them, say, it's going to be 2022 before we can get to it. And they're like, why can't you do it? This is why. We're already booked up. We have tons of work to do. We're waiting on parts and things. It's really crazy, guys, that when I bought this shop, friends and family that I know told me that was a moron. Nobody can use this much space that's a mechanic shop. That was stupid of me to buy this shop. You can take a look around in the shop. It stays full all the time. We constantly have cars coming and going, coming and going. Bin pack was nice to add these 4-post lifts for us, and has been wonderful. That saved us a lot of space, but even as such, we still are running out of a little bit of room. We do have the building next door that I did purchase, but that's being rented out. That's not for us to use. So the same people that told me that I was a moron for buying this building are eating crow really badly right now. And this side's full too. Full. You guys just saw the video on the Corvette, and we're diving in now. We got time that we can dive into that. The Supra is waiting on an antenna, and it's done. We got the new drive shaft carrier bearing in. There's a Grand Marquis with some misfire. There's the Ferrari, and we're finishing up on that Land Rover. So as soon as I can get 3 or 4 cars done, 4 or 5 more show up, and that's a good problem to have in this business. If you're curious what kind of tools we use in the shop, like the power probe I just used, check my Amazon affiliates link in the description below. All my tools that I use in the shop are listed for sale there. We get a small cut, and I appreciate it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, because you see these projects in here, but there's another one coming. You don't know about it yet. It's not in here. It's not in the shop, and it's probably not going to be. But make sure to hit the subscribe button, guys. Thanks for watching.